Guys, we're back with the Screen Team. I'm being joined by Guy for this next flick. And this next flick, we're going to the world of Netflix. And Netflix, of course, streaming service. They've offered a lot of different TV shows that they've produced. And they've also gotten to the movie game recently. And back in December, they released their first big budget film. Starring Will Smith, and it's called Bright. And to help us review it is Guy. Guy, how you doing, man?
Their first real big budget one was Death Note.
No, well, this one was a lot more expensive. This was like $100 million.
This was only expensive because of Will Smith.
Well, hey, that's true. Will Smith he's big time.
When you blow your budget on your lead actor.
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit into the review, but we'll get into that. So, Bright. Bright is kind of like a modern-day Lord of the Rings. We've got orcs, we've got fairies, we've got humans, and they're all together in the present-day world. Yes?
No.
Well, yeah, come on, man.
I don't even see Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I see magical, mythical characters interacting with humans. If you want to draw a more modern parallel of fantasy creatures versus interacting with humans, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
See, I do not even see that. I do not see that.
You have a mythical creature and a human in a buddy cop scenario going against mythical creatures.
All right, you
have a cartoon and a human going against cartoons. It's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You've got orcs, you've got fairies, you've got humans, you've got the elves. How is that not Lord of the Rings? How?
Because those things existed before Lord of the Rings.
And there was the evil one. There's an evil one in Lord of the Rings. There's an evil one in this one. That's all I'm saying. We can agree to disagree.
You're pushing for that parallel.
We're going to agree to disagree. Bright.
And one wand to rule them all?
Yes.
No. Doesn't work that way.
Bright. Was it a bright film for you?
That was a horrible pun. That was horrible.
Come on, Guy. I'm trying here, man. I'm trying to make you smile. What do you got for me on Bright?
It was interesting. I mean, it was a lot less subtle in its racial commentary than Zootopia. It was still overtly, racial parallels, and let's look at social commentary through science fiction, which is, the hallmark of all good science fiction. You do social commentary.
Sure.
But overall, it wasn't bad. The whole orc race being your African American culture and whatever, and Jacoby, who is the orc partner of Will Smith's character, is smaller than a standard orc, which if you see him with other orcs, he really isn't.
Yeah.
And he's not blooded, and they don't know what it... I would have felt more for this character if they would have explained what in the hell blooding meant.
That's a good point. I thought the same thing.
They gave no context to what it means to be this way, to be an orc and be blooded, to be this, and I need to be this. Why? Why? What is the purpose? It serves nothing other than saying this is our MacGuffin goal to go to. Okay, and then at the end, they raise their hands in a Black Panther salute. Well, you're blooded now. What? How? Why? No explanation. It was very lacking on some of the world-building details. And if I don't mind if you do these kind of parallel dimension, alternate world type things. But if you're going to do it, build the world. Let me know what the stakes are for this world.
Sure.
You hear them talk about fairies, and you see Will Smith catch a fairy in a lightning bug trap and beat the crap out of it with a broom. And they're like, well, it's just a fairy. Oh, okay. And they turn around. Well, we've already established there's centaurs and orcs and elves and other sentient beings. Fairies are clearly sentient beings. Why can you beat the hell out of this one, but not another one? What makes it lower on the pole than anything else? It didn't make any sense because I don't know the rules.
Sure.
Give me the rules, and then you can subvert those rules. But I need to know the rules first.
Do you feel like this film didn't know what it wanted to be?
Very much so.
Like, it was like, hey, guys, we're science fiction over here, but we're also an action comedy as well. And we got little elements of horror here and there. Do you feel like this movie could have, if it just decided this is what we're going for, this is our niche, you think the movie would have been better?
I think it would have been better had the script gone through about 2 more rewrites and the director got on some serious Ritalin.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. I don't know what the deal was. And the tonal shifts were just, it was enjoyable for what it was, but it's one of those, I've watched it, I don't really care to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go back for 2 or 3 watchings because I almost got whiplash at some of the tonal shifts. I can't do that. The trailer said it was a kind of buddy cop movie with fantastical elements. I was fine with that. But then when you take and try to put horror, and then you try to put straight sci-fi, and then you try to do all these other different subgenres, which is not what you promised me in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had this discussion many a time on this show. If you promise me one thing and give me something else, you're gonna make me mad.
Right.
But it just, it needed a clear focus. It needed a lens to see things through. Yeah, you have Will Smith's character who seems to be begrudged and disgruntled. You know,
he's that way pretty much throughout the whole film.
But the thing is,
ticked.
if you notice midway through when they get near like the strip club sequence, the tone shifts and he becomes your standard Will Smith in a cop movie.
Sure.
Which is not where he starts, and then he goes back to the gruff. I don't like when you give me something out of left field as to how the character's going to be. I don't mind revelations and character arcs and building. I don't mind any of that. What I mind is, okay, prime example. If you have Jason Voorhees, who's just walking and killing counselors, that's all you see. Halfway through the middle of it, he takes off his mask and starts a Shakespearean monologue to only put his mask back down and walk and kill people.
Are you telling me you wouldn't see that? Guessing not. No? You wouldn't want to see that? All right. Let me ask you something. For those who don't know, Guy, he's really in, and he's a very, very talented makeup artist. Mm-hmm. He's very, very talented.
I appreciate that.
He has done the short film that we worked on called Wishmaker. He's also done tons and tons of stuff for the stage company of Poplar, Bluff. My question is, we've created this world in Bright, a fantastical world with orcs and elves and all these creatures. What did you think of the costumes and the makeup in this film?
Overall, very well done. Some of the elements where they decided to go CG as opposed to practical makeup, it looked like it came off a PS3 game. A good PS3 game, but it looked like it came off a PS3 game. It did not look like it came off of a multi-million-dollar Hollywood budget. It was jarring. It was disconjointed. It took me out of the experience. And that's not to say that I'm one of those people who just always looks for the flaws in makeups and stuff like that. The practical makeups, like Jacoby and the general orc look, thoroughly loved. I thought it was very well done. Most of the elves I thought were very well done. But it's when you started getting into the Dark Fae and all of that stuff where they had more of elongated faces or more angular looks that honestly, if you were to do it practically, would have been about 2 pounds of rubber on their face. Sure. And it wouldn't have really fit. So doing it CG makes sense. The only problem is you get the same problem I have in Justice League when you look at Henry Cavill's mouth and they've CGI'd that mustache off and it looks very uncanny valley.
It takes you out of it.
Very much so.
There's talk. This from what Netflix says is that this movie did very well for their numbers, and they have greenlit a sequel. Mm-hmm. Are you in? Are you into the sequel?
I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch it to see if anything else, if they can pull their focus and actually listen to some criticisms and really take it to heart and really kind of get more of a discerned point of view,
Sure.
yeah, I'm down. Okay. I'll give it a watch to see what it is. If it continues to be, just this hodgepodge of all over the place, I'll probably be done after the second one. But I'm at least going to give it a shot.
It's amazing. The movie is called Bright. It's a Netflix production, and pretty much everything that Guy said in this review, I agree with 100%. Everything he said, except for the Roger Rabbit comparison. He's totally off on that. Totally.
We were almost to a benchmark that we could mark this in the calendar of once in the greatest of blue moons that we agree on something.
Yeah.
But you had to go and ruin it by disagreeing with the painfully obvious.
That's what I do. Coming up next, we've got a review of the movie Solo. It's coming your way right here on the Screen Team.